No, I mean, like, why are we even bothering with the video for this?
Well,
I mean,
because
like,
you never know. I mean, it might be funny. I mean, this video is actually pretty interesting looking, and you know, if it gets popular enough, we can just put. You never know.
the making of
Behind the
Why
scenes,
not
yeah.
take it, right?
Yeah.
You okay with this, guys?
No, I just, yeah, this wasn't in the contract. I wasn't expecting this.
Rooster Teeth and Red vs. Blue started back actually when I was in college, and I decided that I didn't want to be a doctor. So when I switched to computer science, I had pretty much all of my elective credits done. Everything that I did in the medical field, or pre-med field, was applied as an elective, like organic chemistry and stuff like that. I went down to a student-run television station we had there, and that's where I met Matt Hullum, who plays Sarge.
All I want is a pony.
That's where I met Joel Heyman, who plays Caboose.
Tried to hide my bald spot.
Yeah. It took us about 12 months to make a movie. We shot a movie on film, on 16mm film, feature-length movie. It was 105 minutes. Spent a year of our life fucking making this thing.
Mm-hmm.
We rent the Dolby Theater on a Saturday night. We bring in people come from all over the country. Our families and friends come in to see this movie.
This is a major deal.
Fill the theater. They fucking play the print, and they don't have sound. And the worst part about it was they weren't going to fix this problem. They were just like, well, we'll just give everybody rain checks, come back. It's like, people are here from all over the place. You're going to fix this problem. Matt and I had to go in the projectionist booth and trace cables and fix the problem. And it was one of those things where you were, imagine this, we're starting the film 5, 6, 10 times over, and people in the audience going, nope, no sound, go get it back, and it's just like completely ruined
And
the fucking experience.
somebody had kicked a cable out. Like one cable, right?
No, they just didn't set it up right, and they didn't test it. And they just didn't give a shit.
God,
that's what it was.
And it took,
terrible.
It took like an hour to fix, right?
Why?
Yeah.
How did they ever go out of business?
I called Matt and I asked him. I said, "Adobe's going out of business." He goes, "Fuck them." It was just mortifying. If you work for 13 years and like you have that, or 13 months, and you have that fucking experience, and they didn't give a shit.
And then I spent a year after I made the movie taking it around to people, meaning executives or film festivals or whomever, the gatekeepers that you say, okay, I made this movie, I think it's great, we like it, do you think other people will like it? And then we had to go through that process of trying to get people to approve this movie to be watched by other people.
And after we made a movie together, they all went off to LA to have very successful, or moderately successful, film careers. And I stayed in Austin because I had a good tech job with my computer science degree. And I got a job at a company where I met Gus Sorolla, who plays Simmons.
Yes. Yeah.
Jeff Fink, who plays Griff. And Jason Saldana, who plays Tucker.
So I ended up doing tech support with Gus and Jeff working for Burnie. And so we all just became friends and co-workers. I guess really friends more than co-workers because I didn't work on shit.
They were doing a lot of web pages, like these everything nothing sites where they just like write about random stuff. And then they made another one called Drunk Gamers that I really liked.
Which was, what did we do on that one?
Drunk
We
gamers.
drank and played games, did horrible reviews, drunk. The whole purpose of the site was to try to get free video games.
And we failed miserably.
Yeah, I think we got 2 games in a year.
Yeah.
So we failed at that.
And so I started writing for that. I came on as the Xbox guy, and it was in the first year that it was out, so all anyone ever wanted to know about was Halo. So I found myself writing about Halo almost every week and trying to come up with new ways to promote Halo and do cool stuff there and keep people interested. And then one time we made this is really dated, it was like 2002, we made an Apple Switch app.
Playing games on the PC was like... There are a lot of great games on the Mac. Like Warcraft 3... that puzzle game with the Apple logo, that's a great game. I beat it, but it's still fun. The confusing thing about PCs is just, you go to the store, and there's just so many games. I mean, everywhere you look. But on the Mac, there's just 6. And you know which ones are good, because you've already played them all on the PC like 5 or 6 years ago. On the Mac, I can play plenty of great games that you just can't find on the PC now. Like Zork, Breakout, Super Breakout, Photoshop. Another great thing about the Mac is upgrades. On a PC, you have to open up your case, swap out your video card, change jumpers. On the Mac, when it's time to upgrade, you just pick it up, throw it away, and go buy another one. Now that's convenience. My name is Gus Sorolla, and I'm a gamer. Well, I used to be.
And we put it online, and it had one of our friends in it. And I didn't even tell my buddy in LA that I had done it yet. And the next day, he walked into the guy at work that never does anything and always just watches online videos all day. He walked into that guy's office, and our friend Gus was up on the screen. He goes, "That's Gus." And we realized that, you know, we could put a video on the web, and in less time than it would take me to call him and tell him that he could find it, it was already, you know, in his office somewhere.
Because I had this movie equipment left over from my days with Matt and Joel, started doing like trick videos, you know, exploiting the physics in the game engine, things like that. And then eventually just laid some dialogue down over the top of it, and Red vs. Blue was born out of that moment.
We had an immediate audience of people who liked it, and we were like, this is cool, we should keep doing this.
Crazy, because at first it seemed like, you know, a few dozen people found it, then they told their friends, and we had a couple hundred hits. Then, you know, very quickly that changed into a couple thousand, then it was, you know, 10,000, 100,000. I mean, this was over the course of maybe 3 or 4 days. It just went like crazy. I guess people were just sharing the links with all of their friends.
Then we got linked, I think, on, was it Penny Arcade first, then we got linked on Slashdot, and then we got linked on Fark.
And then within 2 weeks, we were up to about 500,000 people coming to the site, you know, every day. I don't think we were ready for the popularity right off the bat. Our server basically just completely fell apart. So within 1 month, we went from literally a server, just a computer in the corner of my bedroom, to 4 different servers in 3 different cities around the nation.
It was definitely a light bulb moment where we said, wow, we don't need anybody else. We can just do this on our own if we want to.